my friends. Hope your week is starting out the way that you would like. The week is not starting out the way we would like for AMC, but that's okay. All we got is time, right? Real quick, before we jump into the video, as always, if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. That's where I'll be tweeting out my thoughts during the day. Colin_Gladman. Also, too, guys, my account is getting to the point where there's lots of copycats and fakes. And once again, as always, I will never, ever DM you for money or about crypto or ask you how your trade is doing or anything like that. Please be responsible in that department. AMC down 5.6% today. Honestly, like I said in last night's video, for me, that was a little bit expected after from the low of last week. We had a 30% gain last week. So, a day or two of cooling off doesn't surprise me at all. Shout out to all the ladies, my beautiful wife on Valentine's Day. This was our 22nd Valentine's together. We've been together since 99, so if you've got the right woman in your life, guys, that's way more important than any stock or any stock price. I promise you that. Looking at the fibs, I tweeted out basically, here's what we're going to be watching for. And then cycle-wise, I'll kind of give my thoughts on that here in just a second. But overall, there wasn't much to tweet out today because not a lot was really going on as far as, the market overall is concerned. The market took a pretty good beating overall today. Obviously, there's a lot of tension out there about, rate hikes. There's a lot of tension out there about the Russia-Ukraine situation. So overall, right now, it's kind of like the overall news is dictating what's going to happen with the market. So looking at the chart, once again, if we look at AMC in its entirety, don't look at this white line for a second. Okay. So if we're looking at the green line, so from where AMC first came onto the exchange and it acted as, big time support a couple of times, that is really where we're struggling to get above. As you can also see, we're also struggling to get above, kind of our top right here from the January run. We have tested it. Let's see here. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, basically almost 6 times. And we're struggling to get on the other side of it. So, dead not good. When we do go to break it, this is going to be, this area, we want to see that break, with some good volume. Like I tweeted out earlier today, when we start hitting this resistance, I'm still really waiting for a big old 250, like $300 million volume day. And that's when I can really start looking at, okay, this thing is about to be big time reversing. And we might be getting ready for the next leg up. Okay. And the reason is because, once again, from a cycle standpoint, that's what AMC has done in the past. So like right in here, let's see here. So right here on January the 19th of 21, that was a $256 million day. And you can see I call it the candy cane shape. All right, because it just kind of comes up and it makes a little hook over before it really starts to push. Kind of comes up, makes a little hook over before it really starts to push. And we're seeing that same thing, that same look right here, but we don't have the volume to go along with it, okay? So that's why I'm definitely just not too excited just yet. So once again, right here, January, not the 20th, it was the 19th, so our big push up, that day was a 30% gain day on $256 million, shares traded on the volume on it. So the other time, right here, this big push up was a 23% day on 296 million volume. So this right here, this push up was on 75 million volume. So for me, that's not it. Okay. Now, where I do think that it has potential to be is kind of right in here. So these volume days were nothing to write home about, leading up to it. So if we're in, if you will, if we're in a little bit of a curl, so if we're kind of in a little bit of a curl right here, before then we have a big push up that's a curl, then a markup, I could get on board with something like that. But bottom line, until we have a big push-up day, a 20 to 30% day on a ton of volume, I'm going to keep my jets pretty cool, okay? And that's going to be, moving up here to what I've talked about several times before. I want to see an overall new sign of strength. Now, if we get into what's been going on basically since January the 20th, okay, this all right here is so this whole pattern right here, this is all accumulation as far as I'm concerned, okay? So what I'd be looking for is we had right here, we had our new SOS, our new sign of strength. So I'd be looking for a backup last point of support right in here. And then it might need to trade right in here for a little bit before then we move up to the next level, the next markup area, okay? So once again, right now, to me, we are in a accumulation phase, all right? So zooming back out here, though, once again, we want to break back up into this 20 area, with some volume past this, big time resistance right here. So it was the resistance before, it was resistance here, we got kicked way down, it was to the resistance in January. So once again, this level right in here, once again, this is a range, but this kind of $19.65, this $20 area, we want to start busting back above from volume. I know everybody just loves pennants on AMC stock, but you can see right here from our downtrend to our support line where we've been catching here lately, we are coming to the point of a pennant, which would be March 11th at its latest. So I'm anticipating right now, unless we get the volume, okay? Unless we get the volume, things change in the market, I'm anticipating bouncing around in this for a little bit. Like I said, guys, it really is just, it's all dependent on volume. So essentially, that's what I'm going to be looking for. If we get in here, I already tweeted out the fibs that everybody needs to be watching for, but we'll go ahead and go over them here. All right. So once again, for my TA doesn't work on AMC crowd, you can see right here that we held support nicely today at that 382 level, $17.69. We were bouncing around right here. If we break below that, then $16.79 will be our next level of support. And then if we break below that, we'd be looking at $15.93 to $15.70 range would be our golden pocket range. And then all the way down to the 786 would be $14.78. So those would be my downside targets that I'm going to be looking for right now. If the overall market keeps getting dragged down because of interest rate talk or Russia's invading Ukraine talk or anything along those lines, guys, AMC is coming with it. All right, you stop it. I'm checking futures right now. I apologize, I didn't let you guys know that. Futures right now slightly green. Take that with a grain of salt. Also, too, everybody was asking me what my thoughts on the after hours action today, and without a bunch of news or anything along those lines, I take that with a grain of salt. So I'm not too concerned or worried about what's going on with the after hours. Unless they're big moves, big volume, big news, something along those lines, I always take after hours with a grain of salt. But so that's essentially what we're going to be looking at. There's really not too much to update, my friends. I don't want to waste too much of your time. So like I said, I think bouncing around in here, what's our wedges looking like? Yeah, bouncing around in here, bouncing around on the wedge. Right now, without volume is going to be what I'm looking for. So unfortunately, kind of looks like we potentially have, oops, not that one. kind of looks like we have a boring week ahead of us to an extent. Once again, unless we get this curl, and we get this pop right here. I mean, we are at our, previous resistance point, so that's why it's acting as support now. So, we definitely, if the overall market is looking good, I could see another bounce here. Maybe not break through, come back down a little bit lower, then we get the breakthrough, then we probably retest. So, like I said, I mean, it's just without a volume, nothing too exciting is going to happen. I saw utilization was still 100%. That's awesome. The big thing I'm looking for now with the Ortex data is we want to see that cost to borrow really start creeping up, okay? Once the cost to borrow gets high, if we have a big day, percentage-wise, a 20-30% day on like 200-300 million volume, once again, that is going to be everything that I am looking for as of right now. Indicator-wise, let's go ahead and check that. I already know with the EMAs on the daily, we closed below the 20-day, so I'd like to recover that because that was at 1802, so not too bad below, but we'd like to definitely see a push up. We worked hard to get back to that 20. I'd definitely like to stay there. We've got RSI. It's going to be fine. Yep, took a little bit of a dive today, but we still got plenty of room to run. It is not overcooked or anything along those lines. We've got the MACD. I haven't looked at this yet. Okay, so that's not great. We got our first kind of lighter green bar, if you will. Once again, that can be a sign of starting to lose momentum. The nice thing about it, though, is it didn't curl too bad down. But if this blue line starts coming down and crossing underneath the orange line, that's going to be a momentum sign of not good. And then, of course, we've got the OBV. It's going to be a tick down today. Yep, tick down today. But overall, it is maintaining its upward trend. And you could really even look at it from here to here. So we'd like to see that continue. Like to see a positive day. But if I said it once, man, I said it 1,000 times. It's all about volume. Lastly, guys, man, don't just we had from the low a 30% week last week, and then we have a 5% day today. And I mean, I saw so much crybaby bitching, whining, and complaining, and it's just, I'm telling you right now, I've talked to some of the people who post about AMC regularly, and myself and them are all real tired of people crying 24/7. You want to invest like an adult, act like an adult. Keep your emotions calm. Green, red, doesn't matter. Just chill, man. If you need to take a break and walk away from the ticker, man, walk away. But just, the crybaby stuff. What do you mean it's going to go down? Or I don't like it. Nobody likes it. Everybody wants this thing to moon, okay? So just put your keyboard down, let it cool off, and like I said, just relax, okay? Other than that, I think tomorrow, if the overall market recovers tomorrow, we'll see a push back up into the upper 18s to 19s, somewhere in there. Unless we get great volume, I don't think we're gonna, we won't be breaking out of any of our downtrends or anything like that, but a push up to the moment where we can would be a good thing to see tomorrow. If not, we already talked about those fibs from earlier is going to be what we'd be looking at if the market takes a turn for the worse. Overall, we definitely want this support line to keep rocking along and doing its thing, but just chill. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Be good.